What's up, everybody? I just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to check out this video. I'm going to keep the interviews uncut. Just kind of, we started recording when we got there. We got there late. It was at the park there in the center of Minneapolis, and they dispersed from there. So we got the interviews of the people who were still there, just gathered their opinions on a couple questions, and got out of there because it was pretty cold, and it was getting dark. So I didn't really want to get caught in the middle of that, but unfortunately, I'm sure there'll be more opportunities for me to go down there and interview protesters. So it was a good first experience, and I'll have my opinions at the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoy, and let me know what you think.
Excuse me, would you guys like to do a quick interview?
For who?
For who? For my channel.
What channel? Tell me about
It's Manhood and More channel.
Fuck off.
All right, man. Have a good day. As you can see, a simple question about an interview, and I get to fuck off. I mean, you can't make this shit up. I should have said I was for CNN or something. Okay, who should I say I'm for? Can I even fucking claim I'm for CNN? Excuse me, would you like to do a quick interview for my YouTube channel? Just a quick interview for my YouTube channel. Just quick questions. Okay. We can get out of the wind quick here if you want. It's probably easiest. All right. What was your name?
Jackson.
Jackson. I'm Dylan. Nice to meet you. Okay. So first question is, so we can all agree there's a problem with violence going on, correct? On both sides, whether that's law enforcement, whether that's how people react to certain violence on law enforcement, right? So if you were in a position of power, what would you do? What would you implement first on kind of how to die things down on both ends?
Getting ice out, because I think that's part of the root.
Okay.
And like where the anger is starting, but I'd say that's the first thing.
Right. So if, say, once ICE is out, how would you handle the whole immigration policy on people who have entered the country illegally? If, as such as local mayors and governors won't implement getting certain people out who have entered illegally?
Well, obviously, like, if you're a criminal and you're doing bad things, like that's a question, that's a separate question. But if you're just here coming, like anybody else, just like all of our ancestors across like the Mayflower and like the very first immigrants, they're coming for the same opportunities, and whether that's freedom or better life or like what America stands for. So for them, if I don't care if they're here documented or undocumented, if they're coming here for a safer life or to be here and live life, that's fine.
Okay. Would you like to see people who have entered the country illegally to be, brought back to their original countries, or how would you like to see them handled?
I personally do not care.
Okay.
They're not bugging me and I'm not bugging them, so
Okay.
it's fine.
How about the ones that are committing crimes who have also entered illegally? Should they stay too?
If they're committing crimes and it's like bad enough where like they'd be arrested, then I'd say like then they could be sent home. But like when you're ripping families apart and like innocent people apart just because they got here undocumented, it doesn't
Right.
make sense because it's not humane.
Okay. Alrighty. And so I got one more question for you. I said we've seen many unlawful protests here in Minnesota specifically. How do you guys want to stay peaceful while still spreading your message about wanting to get ICE out? How do you get ICE out without throwing bricks at their cars and stuff like that? Or standing in front of their cars?
We're not doing that, or if we are, it's ICE is the one approaching us, so we're the peaceful protest, and so if there's any aggravation, it's from the other side, it's not us.
Right. Okay. Would you say that standing in front of because I just seen a recent video, there was in an alleyway, there was a couple people trying to block ICE trying to drive through. ICE had to eventually remove them just due to them having to drive through, and it's unfortunate because you don't want to see them put their hands on people, but they also don't want to run them over, right? If ICE was so inhumane, I feel like, and they get labeled as Nazis and whatsoever, right? They probably would have just ran them over and then dusted off their shoulders, but they have to move them and then drive through. I just feel like there's a little misconception with yes, there's a lot of bad apples in the basket, but as a whole, I feel like their drive to make the country better is misconceived when stuff like this happens. So basically what I'm trying to say is I don't necessarily feel like ICE should be completely removed from this state, because like I said earlier in this interview, Jacob Fry won't do anything to the criminals who have been in this country or this state for a while, nor will the governor. So I feel like, do you feel like the federal government has been put in a pinch in order to kind of crack down on this criminal activity, specifically from this group of immigrants, since local officials won't do it, is what I'm trying to say? Like, have we got to this point, or has ICE been brought out here for no reason?
I think for no reason.
Okay.
He's targeting.
So there hasn't been. Okay, all right, we can wrap up this interview if you're done.
Yeah.
Okay, I appreciate your time. Have a good one. Thank you. All right, well, I got a lot of word salad there. What'd you get, Jay?
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just,
I mean, I appreciate the respectful. Okay, we got the fuck off, and then on the other side, we got that guy who is honestly a very respectful conversation. I just feel like he's kind of clueless, and that's kind of one of my points out here. Is kind of out here for no reason, because we do need ICE, we do need federal action. As you can see up here, we got whistles and shouting. Jesus, the way, the truth, and life. Amen, brother. You want a quick interview?
MSNBC's down here.
Really?
Yeah. I'm going to get on there and say, and I'm pro-life, I'm against abortion, MSNBC.
Can I give you a hug?
Yeah.
Look at this guy. This guy's a trooper out here, spreading the message.
Yes.
We just did it. We're just kind of doing interviews, for my YouTube channel. And
Oh, are you?
Yeah, I appreciate your sign. That's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was your name?
Andy Wandra.
Andy Wandra.
Yeah, here you go.
Yep. Show him the sign.
Jesus is the way.
Amen.
That's the only.
What do you think about the sign?
He's smiling. Look at
We got a smile. We got a smile.
Lady.
Jesus, the way, the truth, and life. Quite honestly, I feel like everybody gotta have whatever belief they want. So like, I got friends who are very Christian. I got family who's Christian who are not. Yes, if it works for you, honestly. Like,
Awesome.
yeah.
Appreciate you, man.
Kind of smiling.
I like the ski mask. That's awesome. So how long have you been here?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
I actually, I just came from Planned Parenthood where I was doing some pro-life work.
Awesome.
Then I came down here.
That's awesome. I've been thinking about doing that, but where I'm from, they don't really have them, thankfully.
Thankfully, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a good thing, right? But so is that
hopefully-
NBC right there, or what's the deal?
MSNBC, so
Yeah.
I'm going to try to get some shots.
Yeah.
My wife says, don't go down there. You're going to I'm going.
Yeah. What are they gonna do, right? they can't do nothing.
I'm kind of in a park, kind of not a real safe area.
Yeah. Well, we'll be watching. If anything happens, we'll.
I parked a ways away.
Yeah, we did too. We had the same model. We're like,
You guys are.
show them the chopper, Jay. Yeah, you get the chopper. We might need that here shortly. But yeah, I mean.
Do you guys just do a little podcast, or what do you do?
Well, I just posted my first video a couple days ago about how Jesus showed himself to me. I had the picture on my phone, but I happened to be recording on my phone. But
And like a vision or what?
it was basically in my mirror. So you know how like you'll get dew and condensation on your mirror and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There was a mountain ridge, and then on the tip of that ridge was the cross, and then to the next to that cross was like a headstone, or like a rock-looking thing. So it was picture perfect. Like you can't make that up.
Well, God, I came down here. I wasn't going to come down here. I ran into you.
Right. Coming
Could,
out of the bathroom.
could be a God thing,
Right. I would
He
say
does
so.
stuff. And then actually, I carry this around my neighborhood, and I go down to the Minnesota River on hikes. I never carry my sign. I just go for a morning walk. Right. And then one day I said, I'm going to carry my sign. And this lady's praying with her friend on her cell phone. And she says, I got to take a picture of your sign. So I ran into her, and I never carried my sign down there. So it's not a coincidence. It's the Lord.
That's why I said I don't believe in coincidences. And the funny thing is, when I looked in my mirror and saw that, it was while I was mid-prayer. I was driving. I looked in my mirror, and I seen that. So there's no such thing as coincidence.
God's helping us. He's helping our faith.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
We should have faith without that stuff, but it does help us.
Right.
Because we're not. Our faith's weak a lot of times, so we need that stuff. It helps us.
As humans, we're easily demotivated, just in everything,
Yep.
But God helps us keep the drive alive,
Yep. Amen.
But yeah, I know we just got here, obviously, but
I did too. I thought it might be all over. I didn't know.
well, that's what I heard.
The weather's
but
cold.
Yeah, it is
Usually
getting cold.
people aren't too motivated on one certain type of people when it's cold.
It was funny. So we were walking around the building. There's two guys. I go, hey, would you like to do a quick interview? He goes, for who? I go, oh, for my YouTube channel. He goes, F off. Walks away. And then the other guy, I go, hey, you want to do a quick interview? He's like, for who? I go, oh, just my YouTube channel. He's like, sure. So it was like two polar opposites. Like I had one great interview, and then one dude just told me to F off right away. I'm like,
It's a little risky, but
it is.
if I sense the spirit, then I'm not too worried about it.
Right,
It's another guy took a picture and he said, hey, that's the only thing that's gonna bring justice is Jesus Christ.
Amen.
And I'll just take a picture of your sign and we'll get you in it. And I believed him, I trusted him.
I mean, this would be perfect too, because my first video is about how Jesus showed himself to me. We started filming when that dude told me to F off, We come up the hill. Did you get him coming out of the bathroom a little bit? Or
Yeah, I think so.
it might have been.
Good thing I had.
But it's like perfect timing. Like you can't make this stuff up.
You'll see it on the
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. I've been trying to
keep walking in faith.
Amen.
I'm actually Roman Catholic.
Roman Catholic.
You can be born again Roman Catholic. So just to let you know, everyone thinks. But I came. Well, I grew up learning about the Lord, but I came to a big conversion when I was 19.
Okay.
Actually, I went rock climbing with my high school rock climbing class, and this kid did not catch me like he should have, and I fell, but I was still alive, and I felt like God, I was not ready to go. And he gave me another chance, so I told my mom to bring me a Bible, which I never read in the hospital, and then I thought, well, I got to start doing good works. I started giving to Christian Children's Fund, and then I went to Colorado, went to a Protestant church, and he said, you have to be born again. And I'm like, oh, that's what the Catholics were saying, but they didn't quite cross the finish line. And then I just gave my life to the Lord there, and been living for the Lord the rest of my life since I was 19. So it's great when you can do it when you're younger. Instead of making all those mistakes.
Right, yeah, and then before it's too late, tomorrow's never promised.
Yeah, you don't know.
So
Amen.
You never want to be on that end of things.
Yeah, and you get older, it's like, I want to really try to evangelize. I don't have too many years left. People don't think like that. It's hard to think like that because then you don't want to think about dying every day. But I think about it every day. I got that much time left, so I got to do what I can do right now.
Amen.
So, amen.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you guys.
Well, I'm glad you're still here, and
Yeah, me
glad we
too.
could have this conversation.
Okay.
I
Well,
appreciate you. What was your name again?
Andy Wanderer.
Andy Wander. I'm Dylan. Nice to
Hey,
meet you.
Dylan. Good talking. to you.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
Hey, Josh.
Yes.
Good to meet you, Josh.
Yes, good to meet you.
All right. God bless you guys.
Yeah, God bless you.
God
Stay
bless you.
safe. What was your name?
Jalen.
Jalen? Jalen, I'm Dylan. Nice to meet you. So my first question to you is, if you were in a position of power, not necessarily president, but let's say mayor of Minneapolis or governor of Minnesota, what would be the first thing you would do?
Well, regarding this situation, I would just try to find a common ground, I guess you can say, because it's not like we can just kick them out there and they're here. So at least trying to find a common ground to see where we can meet in the middle. Some type of reform would be a possibility. So to try to find that common ground so everyone can be safe and satisfied.
Okay. So would that be like the complete removal of ICE, or would you say there needs to be still some sort of action on getting the illegal immigrants out who are committing crimes?
I think we can revamp ICE, I guess you can say. ICE has targeted many innocent people, and so, removing them entirely, maybe for now, just to give a revamp and just to have like a reform. That was like my same sentiments with police a few years ago. It's not necessarily the removal of police, but to have some sort of reform to make sure that there is common ground, to make sure that innocent people aren't targeted.
Right. Kind of that thing, like you find a bad apple every time you're in like the apple orchard, right? Like there's going to be, obviously you're not going to have a 100% success rate with good cops, I think we can all agree on that one. So yeah, I guess that kind of ties into my other question here. If you have a mayor like Jacob Fry and a governor like Walz, who have came out and said they want the complete removal of ICE, and they kind of have it under control, so to speak. But we've seen kind of the scale of illegal activity from the immigrants, right? So how do you expect the immigrants to be prosecuted who have came here illegally if the local government won't do it?
I feel it's just prosecute them just like how you prosecute a U.S. citizen. I feel that everyone has a story, I guess you can say. Everyone has a reason why, they came here for a better life or whatnot. I feel like it is taken, or like people view, I guess, quote unquote, legal immigrants as just these horrible people when, we're all human at the end of the day. And if they are committing a crime, then okay, treat them like a U.S. citizen, treat them, punish them like a U.S. citizen. But many aren't, and I think that's the problem here today. I think that's why so many people are angry, is because a lot of come just to work, just to get a better life, just to get a better environment. So yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I guess my thing is just more so like, I feel like the federal government's almost been put in a pinch to a point of where, Jacob Fry won't do anything. Tim Walz, we clearly seen that Tim Walz won't do anything, which kind of ties into my question. How do you feel? You don't have to comment on this if you don't want to, but how do you feel about the fraud, the $200 million fraud case that was stealing money from starving children and families? That money was traced back to buying sports cars and luxury items such as, designer outfits and designer glasses and such.
I don't know too much about that, but from the sounds of it, that's pretty. It sucks, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. And I'm not sure on the exact numbers, but I know the majority of those people that were prosecuted for the $250 million fraud were immigrants. I want to say they're illegal as well. And I'm not trying to say that they're all bad, but I'm saying that just kind of shows you that your local government wasn't doing anything, right? Like, you could argue that Jacob Fry and Tim Walz allowed that, not necessarily allowed that, but inevitably not doing anything about it will allow that. So I guess my stance would be, I feel like from an outsider's view, it looks like the federal government kind of had to do what they had to do in forces of putting the people in the place of trying to enforce stuff that wasn't being enforced.
Yeah, you also got to look at it as there's plenty of U.S. citizens who commit fraud on that scale as well that aren't also,
Right.
Prosecuted. So I understand your stance. I completely get it. But when there's so many, even politicians, who are committing this, wide, grand scale of fraud, who are just looked away, it's kind of like, it kind of combats that a little bit. It's kind of like creates an unbalance, I guess you can say.
Right, like where's the double standard, right? Like if you're gonna prosecute people for it, you should be prosecuted, kind of thing, right? And I will admit there's a lot of corruption and fraud in our government. Like, I'm not saying our government's perfect and every administration, let alone this administration, is perfect, but I feel like some people like to point fingers at a whole group of people, such as ICE or a racial group or whatever, when really it's, you got to look at who you're hiring necessarily, because I've heard there's, for these federal agents as ICE, sometimes the hiring process is quicker than usual or something like that, right? So that might stem into some incidences like this or down the line. That goes for everything else though. So I don't know, I guess to sum things up, what would you like to see done just in the 2026 or in the years to come for the are you raised in the city? What would you like to see done for your city in 2026 or the years to come?
Yeah, just I guess reform is the first step. Revamping everything, better hiring processes. I was out, protesting during the whole George Floyd and Dante Wright thing, and I was asking just for the same thing. So, just seeing where a common ground could be met, so that there's not so much turmoil. Obviously, there's going to be incidents. Obviously, there's going to be problems still, regarding just life in general. But if we can find some sort of common ground, so we can decrease that as much as possible, that'd be great to see.
All right. Well, I appreciate your time. Thank you. All right, what's up, everybody? So I hope you liked that video. I hope it was entertaining and you guys did take some information from that video. My main point you might ask, why would I go down there? Or, a lot of people thought I was going to go down there to, try to agitate people. I'm not one to put myself in situations like that, but my main point was to prove to myself and to people I know and people who are watching this video that a lot of them are kind of confused. I think that's kind of why they're there, is they might feel lost in society. They don't have a place, so they kind of stem to that large group of people who are there in one spot. Like for example, first off, he said, they're not bugging me, I'm not bugging them, because my question was, do you want to see immigrants who have entered this country illegally, do you want to see them brought back to their country? And his answer was, they're not bugging me, I'm not bugging them, I don't care. Okay, well, if we want to get into the numbers and stuff, do we want to bring up the women and children and men who have been murdered, raped, sextorted, everything? You could go, the list goes on and on and on of victims of people who have entered the country illegally. And that whole narrative of, oh, they're not bugging me, I'm not bugging them. Okay, maybe not you, but to the hundreds of other Americans who have lost their lives and dignity due to heinous acts committed by these kind of people, I would say that's bugging me. Maybe not in my personal life, but the way I view just how my country is shaping itself, that bugs me. And the fact that it doesn't bug that guy should tell you guys something. And then the second guy, both were very respectful conversations. I'm not dissing either or, but the second guy didn't have any clue. He flat out said, I don't know anything about the $250 million fraud case in Minnesota. So him knowing that might change that might have not brought him to that protest that day. You never know, right? So it just kind of, those two people, and then the first guy that asked for the interview, you saw how that went. Just lovely people. You just say, excuse me, hey, kid, you want to do a quick interview? And you get an F off. I think that was the most respectful I've been in my life, and then the most disrespectful answer I've ever gotten. Kind of was expected. I'm not expecting these people to be nice and respectful, and especially when a guy like myself approaches them, they're probably assuming I'm coming off the wrong foot, but mainly I'm just there to kind of give them questions, and when they answer it, a smart mind would kind of like, it's a rhetorical question, like, oh, they're not bugging me, I'm not bugging them. It's like, okay, well, you just said it yourself, they are bugging us, or they are committing fraud and you don't know about it, yet you're here protesting on their behalf. How does that work, right? That's your tax dollars that they took. Yet here you are advocating for more of that, or you want less of that. Okay, well, if you want less of that, then we need ICE and we need to get the people who are committing these stuff out. Simple as that. So, there'll be more opportunities for me to go down there and probably start more conversations on that. But this was just kind of a starter. It was extremely cold. I was holding a mic like this, so my hand by the end of it was shot. I couldn't really feel it. And we parked far away. We didn't want to park next to there in case, say that first guy, rallied a group or whatever, because it was just me and my buddy down there, Josh. So we didn't have much reinforcement, if you want to put it that way. But again, we weren't coming off of any misintent or anything like that. So I wasn't too worried on that. But, people can take stuff and run with it. But yeah, I just really hope you guys enjoyed it. And I will have more of these types of videos out. Just kind of open discussion. I really like to get opinions and kind of share my opinion after and just kind of go back and forth with trying to get to the bottom of stuff, right? But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please comment what you guys thought of it. Please like. And I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to watch till the end if you made it to the end. And I will have more videos for you guys in the future. So unedited, uncut, raw. I want it to be authentic for you guys, and you guys saw kind of what went down at our time there. So I appreciate you, and thank you.